Here we are, another Friday Night Live, February 3rd, 2023. And it's a nice cold day today. Minus 19 this morning. And during the day, it was like minus 16 with a strong wind. It's nice and chilly. Really good. The sun was out, which was nice, but the wind made it tough to be outside. Yeah. We just started to get our real winter. We haven't had any real winter until the last week or so. So yeah, it's good times. Hope everybody is living and loving it the best they can. Seeing all kinds of strange things happening around the globe and or the flat earth, whichever belief system you have. But we are interesting times, that's for sure. Living and loving it is will allow you to use your master key for many things and be able to achieve things that you thought you weren't possible. It's just that simple. How do we know that? We've experienced it. Thousands of people. And it's just amazing. Experienced it ourselves and with thousands of people. So, starting to get some really strange questions in these last few years. One of the main reasons is to want to live a healthy lifestyle, to want to heal from a challenge situation. You really need to make the choice of, changing the lifestyle. If you keep doing what you've always done, you keep getting what you've always gotten. And in order to do that, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to do some homework. You got to do some reading. You got to do some studying. And most people are not going to do that. It's just the way it is. Been at this 33 years, and it looks like mankind is going more in the opposite direction. Even though people say they want to do certain things, it's not really what they do. It's just the way it is. Look at anything else. It's very interesting. Dealing with the emotion of man. We are creatures of habit, and we all are, liars, thieves, cheats, murderers, rapists. It's just the way mankind has gone. Sodom and Gomorrah, we're here, we're back here. We can keep going and supporting what's going on, or we can just say no and focus on where we want to be. And that's what this whole realm is about, is choosing a spiritual path, a spiritual lifestyle. And fasting is that. Fasting is a spiritual lifestyle, first and foremost. If you're going to come here for fixing something and no other reason, you're going to have a hard time in your life. You're going to have a hard time because the mentality will be an event. You do your 30, 40 days, whatever, so on and so forth, and you think it's over. And that's just not even the beginning. The beginning is ongoing and never ends, continues until we go into the other realms without the physicality and go back where we came from. But This life is, we're here for a reason, for a purpose. Um, each one of us has to find that purpose. So, as I've said many times, and after being handed Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet Healing System book, I said, wow, this is a lifestyle. And I never let it go. Going through the years, and there's years you fast more and years you fast less, but fasting's always been a part of these past 33 years for the most part. Fall off, get back up, because life happens. I'm never going to eat, cook food again. Okay. I'm never going to do this again. Never going to do that again. Okay. Well, life happens, emotions happen, and the volition and the emotion is what creates our reality, what creates our physicality, what creates everything. It's our volition and our emotion as the energy and the power of creation. That's how we're all here. The Creator put his volition and emotion into making this reality for us. And here we are. And it continues because of the love that's ongoing and continuously flowing. That's what we say, plasma love always flowing. Creation's continuously happening every second of every moment. It's why they find new life forms on this planet all the time. All the time. There's new life forms being discovered. And, man's been on the planet for, however long. And all of a sudden they come up with a new species that they'd never seen before. Well, because it wasn't here before. There's new species being created all the time. Isn't that amazing? And plant species as well. Everything is in continual flow, and we embrace it, or we can resist it. Resistance is futile. No point resisting the Creator and creation. We best thing is build a relationship, strengthen a relationship with the Creator and all its wonderful creations in nature, in the universe, the stars, the galaxies, the sun, the moon, the air, the water, the earth, fire. We use all these tools. All these tools are part of this realm. There are wonderful times. We just don't know it because of what's happening out there. We don't know it. And things are not as they seem to be. Anybody out there? Embrace the wonderful times. Embrace the not so wonderful times. It's all about embracing everything that comes to us, no matter what, and learn from it. If it's something that, is challenging us, we're going to learn from it. And we're going to come out stronger if we take the seat that, okay, well, this is happening for me to learn something. So let me handle it the best I can. Let me learn from it. Francesca, hi there. You respond to my message about the hernia. Can you clarify if the juice is acidic, if it will not stop it from healing? Also, what does the cabbage juice do? I just signed up a few weeks ago as a member. Have you read the Mass Fast protocol? I don't. I've pretty much answered the question. All fruit is acidic. Of course, the juice is acidic. MFS is an acidic experience. That's where the highest forms of healing that we've seen are in the acidic experience. That's only looking at chemistry. And chemistry, instead of looking at the vastness of the universe, we're looking through very small window, so we can't see everything else. We're blind, and we think we have the solutions by looking at this small window of microscopes. That's why I'm trying to explain that chemistry, you're going to be only led down the road of confusion, Francesca. Don't look at chemistry. We can only work holistically. And when we're in a fasting state, which is the master fasting, we're glorified dry fast. When we're in that fasting state, everything, all the energy of the soul from the divine is put towards, healing, restoring balance. When we're purging all that obstructive caca out of us in the physical and the mental and the emotional. The emotional is the most powerful. So until we purge that stuff out, you can take anything you want. This is the mentality of addition, supplements, nutrition, and so on and so forth. And, I take the herb, it's going to fix everything. Well, herbs do amazing things. But, we're dealing with the highest levels of regeneration and healing and moving in the direction of balance. So are you going to have challenges with what you have? You're already in a challenge situation because you're obstructive, right? This is how we get in these situations. And how do we change that? Well, we need to start purging. We really need to start purging, because that's how we've seen miracles happen. Literally, we have so many miracles. It's just amazing when I go through the old testimonials. It's just like, holy damn, and this and that, and it's just amazing things happen. Now, the cabbage juice is people have healed their ulcers with it. So why I was suggesting go for cabbage juice for a week. Nothing but cabbage juice, and do enemas, of course. To keep things moving. That's the key. You don't want energy to be stagnant. Everything in Master Fast is to keep energy flowing. If there's any stagnation, you're going to have a situation where you have a hernia. That's stagnation. There's no energy in that area flowing, and the body can't heal it, no matter what you take. So trying to take cabbage, or something in the cabbage that helps ulcers and stuff. So this sounds like, sort of some kind of ulcer that irritated and opened up an area. So you can try that, see if it calms it down, and then get into master fasting and start purging. That's what I would suggest. That's why I suggested it. You can look up, raw cabbage juicing for hernias, for ulcers. Hernias, you got to be careful. You don't want to put stress on it and doing certain exercises. Because the inflammation, when anything is inflamed, is how we get injured. Remove all the inflammation, it's going to be very difficult to get injured. Very difficult, unless you break bones and stuff. Because the body can stretch and move in ways that you never knew possible when you're eating all kinds of caca and obstructed with an obstructed body. It's two different states. So, in a fasting state, dry fasting states particularly, is where everything happens. And we support everything around the dry fast. So with this hernia thing, I would also do, now that you're here, I would also do comfrey root, which is nicknamed the bone knit. Poultice is right on top of that area of where you have the hernia, which will help speed up healing as well. So you get yourself some powdered comfrey root. If you don't have the powder, you grind it up yourself with a mortar and pestle, and you make a poultice. You put it on you wet it with water, and you can put some honey on it, a pinch of cayenne if you want. Put it on that area, and put some plastic over it, and tape it up, and just leave it on there for as long as you can until you have to change it. A few days or whatever. You were going to buy comfrey. Excellent. Yeah, start doing that. And you're going to see doing all these things. Like, we know nothing about you. I don't believe you answer the questions on section 15. So I'm just talking generalization, but that's all we really need to know, generalization, because the Master Fast System protocol has everything you need to do. And with the tools part of it, everything is there. So load up on tinctures, Last Supper 12, and change your lifestyle. The choice is yours. You don't have to do this. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not, this lifestyle is definitely not for everybody, as we've seen. The people who choose this lifestyle are living a great lifestyle with much less challenges in their health than they used to have. And so, some people have healed miraculously. That is just like jaw-dropping. Oh, geez, that happened. It's just incredible to have witnessed it. But sometimes you're in a situation where it could be causing a severe challenge. You may need the assistance of a surgeon, but that would be the absolute last resort. For me, I would be doing all these things first, and working with my emotions, go over all the healing reactions, which could be infinite. That's a short list. Go over all the videos of people's testimonials that we've done. We did many interviews, so you have a better idea of things that can happen, and listen to the people who screwed up when they broke their fast horribly, and almost killed themselves. Go through all that, because and then when you're in a situation like this, you need to change your lifestyle. If you want to change, you can go get surgery and stitch it all up, but the condition, the inflammation is still in the body, and then you're going to have the trauma from the surgery. So, like I said, there's good surgeons out there, and we use them if it's a last resort. Like, for example, if there's a tumor that's growing and it's interfering in blood flow or something, major artery or something, or breathing, it's causing, restricted breathing. You may need assistance of a surgeon, because we can't turn it around that quick, because people have let it go to that state. They've ignored it for so long, and then they're in that state, and then there's an emergency. So, yeah, big lesson. I think the hernia is from breaking my fast wrong. There you go. You fasted before? Yes. Okay, well, I don't know what kind of fasting you've done or anything, but very few people understand what fasting is that I've seen in 33 years I've been doing this. I don't have all the answers, but we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot of all the fasts I've done personally and all the thousands of people we've guided. And we have a very good indication of, what fasting is, what's happening during fasting and how to break a fast properly. And people who have, broken their fast improperly pay the price. Most people pay the price. Some people pay very heavily, and some people die. I was just talking to somebody on a consultation, and he said, yeah, he knew somebody who did a 40-day water fast and went to pig out, steak dinners and everything, and he croaked, he died. So, it's people think that they're different than anybody else. Hey, it could happen. Anybody breaks their fasting correctly, they can die. If you survive, you're just the lucky one. For whatever reason, you needed that lesson to be alive still, and learn from it. I've broken fasting correctly, and it's a horrible experience. So we want to do everything possible to set our minds and emotions for breaking our fast, and this is why we say choose one of the levels. Stay away from level 7 for a long while until you've mastered breaking your 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, whatever you've chosen. So you're fasting, breaking your fast over and over and over again. And you see all the emotional challenges that you're going to go through, so you can adapt and train yourself to break your fast better and better, because you're going to pay the price if you break your fasting correctly. So if you break your fasting correctly on a few days, it's not going to have the same detrimental effect as if you've done 108 days and then you break your fasting correctly, because 108 days in master fast, it purges like nothing else. You're going to strip all that GI tract like never before. And it's going to be basically in a raw state, because it's in a wonderful healing state, a healed state after 108 days. And then you start putting in foods that are very obstructive, you're going to pay the price heavily. Heavily, you're going to pay the price. So you can turn this around. I have no idea, no doubt about that. But you're going to have to be very careful in what we're saying, and read the protocol over and over again, and do all the things we've suggested if you want to avoid, hurting yourself very, very badly, if not, killing yourself. Just on juices until I learned about MFS. Yeah. I wonder what kind of juices. Big lesson. My fear is that the mucoid plaque won't come out if I am not fasting. Why? I don't know who puts these fears into you, but if you're doing level 4, at least 4, 5, 6, and you're only eating that, 1 or 2, 3 days a week on hybrid, and you're only eating fruit, nothing else, in a small eating window, you're going to be moving stuff. Like level 6, MFS level 6 is very, very close to level 7, very close. Level 7 is at a whole nother level for sure, because you're stripping and stripping and stripping, and you're continuously in the fasting state. But what are you going to do after? If your level 7 is not a lifestyle, meaning that's it, you're staying on level 7, you're not going back to eating foods, you're just going to stay on liquids. And everybody can say that that's where they're going to go, but emotionally they're not ready, because they haven't trained themselves over the years. So that's why we don't suggest level 7. The emotions is the most powerful, and that's what's going to drive you to madness. Example, I remember somebody who broke the fast and said she could not stop herself from going to buy pizza. So what do you do with somebody like that? That's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Actually, a friend of mine, He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He fasted on water for 2 weeks. Okay. Fasted for water because he didn't want to eat the hospital food. He gets out of the hospital. As soon as he's out of the hospital, his roommate had bought a pizza. Guess what? They ate the whole pizza. Back in the hospital that night, excruciating pain, and they gave him morphine for the pain and gave him enemas to get it out. He survived. Amazingly, he survived. That's like putting cement in your GI tract. That's only a 2 week. So I'm hearing these stories. I don't want to hear these stories. I do not want to hear. This is somebody that I know, and he knows the protocol. And I've discussed it with him several times over the last 7, 8 years. So how do you stop people from, you can't stop people from doing that. The emotions will take over and you won't be able to control yourself unless you've trained yourself over and over and over again. So that's why forget about worrying about anything else, but training yourself on start on level 4, move to level 5 after a few weeks, and then try level 6 and only eating 1 day a week. And see how much challenges you have breaking your fast on a week-to-week basis. Let's see how you can handle that. I don't know what kind of diet you've eaten. Are you going to be able to stay on just fruit and fasting? I don't know. Most people will not be able to do it because of the society we live in. Your partners, your roommates, your co-workers, everybody's going to have an opinion. Are you going to be able to handle all that? And you're worried about mucoid plaque coming out? I wouldn't be worried about mucoid plaque. Stuff's going to be moving out when you're massive fasting and you're doing the cycles of the dry fast. Believe me, stuff's going to be coming out. So yeah. Oh yeah. I think we know a little bit of what we're talking about because one too many have done crazy things, you know. The guy who went drinking with his friends after a 40-day MFS and went into a coma and blamed Massifast for that. He was actually on a call not too long ago. He goes, "Oh yeah, I learned my lesson. Remember that?" Of course I remember. How can you forget something like that? He said he drank a lot, but he didn't get drunk. Yeah, but what are you saying? Why would you even go out drinking after a long fast? You're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. You don't do these things, and if that's what you want to do, don't fast. Just stay on an eating lifestyle. Don't fast. I don't suggest you fast because you may kill yourself or do severe damage. So, like we say, if MFS is not for everybody, fasting lifestyle is not for everybody. Because since day one, you can go back at all the Facebook posts from 2015 when we started, and all the videos, and we talked about the same thing. This is a lifestyle. And back then we were saying 108 days is just your start, which is true. It's a start to the lifestyle. We never said to go back to eating 7 days a week ever, because we have dry fasting cycles and we have a hybrid. We have, clean eating things, what to do, how to stay, eating less obstructive foods, clean eating. We have all that in the whole master fast protocol. And everything we've been talking about for the last 8 years, it's all there. We haven't changed much. We've refined things. We've reworded things to make so people can understand them better. We put in the levels so people have a much better ways, because there's infinite ways you can use the levels. Some people use it on a week-to-week basis. Some people use it on a bi-weekly basis. Some people use it on a monthly basis. But if you go less than a monthly basis, I know a couple of people are doing like 9 days a month. That's how they're doing their master fasting. And then they're eating clean, minimal, and the rest of the days. Of course, you're cycling your dry fasting continuously, daily, weekly, monthly, season change. and they're doing well, you know. But if you do it less than a monthly, you're not going to see much happen in this environment that we live. We're being bombarded and accumulating and things continuously, right? We're always adding emotions, mental stuff, and physically through our food or diet, through our environments, through, or you know, we're being bombarded with stuff at work, whatever. We're accumulating all the time. We need a continual purging on all levels. If we don't have a continual purging, we are in the addition mode, and in the addition mode is where you move into imbalance and diseases, which are fictitious, they're made up. So we just use the word plural. They're man-made. So yeah, Francesca, start watching the YouTube, MasterFast YouTube testimonials. You'll learn a lot. Pay attention to what people's experience, what they had with their experiences, especially the ones who shared their you know, breaking the fast not well. Listen to what happened, so you can I don't know, keep yourself motivated to do things as cleanly and as correctly as possible. You know, and if these crazy cravings come in through the emotions when you break a fast, you know, have things ready that are much less damaging. For example, instead of having a pizza, you know, you can be eating some steamed vegetables, right? Or a squash soup, you know, a baked squash soup, or, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, there's many things you can do that's going to be better than going to have a pizza after a long fast, and, you know, a plate of pasta or steak. These things can actually kill you. That's all we can suggest. You think it's fun seeing people breaking their fast incorrectly? I don't like hearing these things. It's horrific. It's not fun at all. When we have the information there, and we've shared the information over and over and over of why not to break fasting correctly, and, you know, how important it is to break it correctly. You know, as they say, any man can fast, but it takes a wise man to break a fast. Ask how many people have broken their fast correctly, like truly correctly. It's the most challenging part because of the emotions. We're bundled full of imbalanced emotions through our ancestral lineage and through our own life. So we need to be able to work around that and embrace everything that comes to the surface. Because when we start a fasting lifestyle, all these emotions, all these imbalances will start coming to the surface, and we have to learn how to be able to how to handle ourselves. So we have tools, you know, enemas, #1 tool with breath work, essential oils, walking in nature, doing something you love to do, so you take your mind off it, keeps you busy, you know, movement in general, infinite things, herbs, those are a blessing. Herbs are a blessing. We thank our highly elevated friends, the herbs. It's just so helpful in the fasting state. And that's where they help our physical body, our mental and emotions do the magic like no tomorrow. The herbs. And is why they're an essential part of master fasting. Essential. And MFS has the best herbal tinctures anywhere we've seen, by far. I haven't seen anything on the market that comes close to what MFS has as tinctures. 2 to 1, 50% alcohol, organic and or wild crafted herbs, and beautiful stuff. Cabbage, load yourself with some cabbage and start drinking cabbage juice. Put a pinch of cayenne, because even cayenne helps ulcers. Cayenne helps bleeding. Cayenne helps healing. You know, if you have a cut, put straight cayenne powder on it, it'll stop the bleeding and the pain. So yeah, you can put, once you're off the cabbage, you go back on MFS, you can put a little pinch, if you still haven't challenged, a little pinch in your juice of cayenne. Don't have to get the really, really strong stuff. 20 to 40,000 heat units is all you need. You don't need to go to the 60 or 70 or 90 or 180 heat units. You don't need the strong stuff. Some people really have a hard time with cayenne, but if you get used to it, very, very small pinch, and if you can't handle it, and start getting used to it, and yeah, watch what happens. Even grasses, wheatgrass, barley grass, you can juice. You can do a 2-3 ounces of that every day, and drink your when you drink your cabbage. The separate times, yeah, maybe you can probably mix them. But the cabbage on its own is supposed to be great for ulcers. And grass, I've seen grass do miraculous healing. We're just doing grass poultices on cuts and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, you got your comfort root, you got that, you got this, and that's fast. You got lots of tools. And we'd like to hear how you're doing. Keep in touch. The more people share, the more other people can learn. I see a lot of people sharing outside of the group, and ain't gonna help anybody in the group except a few people they're in contact with. This is the realm of MFS, and it's always been about sharing our experiences with each other and supporting each other and inspiring each other. That's all we've been about. And it's worked well over these last 8 years, and we've seen miracles happen over and over again with everything that's happened. So yeah, I will look forward to hearing how you're doing, and you know, good stuff. The fear is false evidence appearing real. Remember that. Let it go. These belief systems that we have, we make them up, and or we're taking them in from other people programming us. You know, if you don't know, they can implant thoughts in our brains, and you will think that we will think they're our own thoughts. So you have to learn how to decipher. This is where a relationship with your creator will allow you to easily decipher, you know, is it my thoughts or not? And a fasting lifestyle, which is first and foremost a spiritual journey, and which allows you to have a stronger relationship with your divine creator, with our divine creator. And that's what it's all about. So make it happen. Make it happen. I want to hear a great, wonderful, miraculous healing. That's what I want to hear, Francesca. I don't want to hear that you tried and then you broke your fast horribly and you ended up in surgery. I don't want to hear that. The choice is yours of which way to go, and only you can make it happen. Each way, either way, you can make it happen. But you have, you know, got to do the work. You got to make it happen. If you have a spouse, partner that is supportive, it's going to be better. But if they're not supportive, it's going to be challenging. If you have family members who are not supportive, it's going to be challenging. You know, 108 days. You know, and I remember at least 2 people, their family or immediate family called the cops on them because they were losing too much weight. This is absolute ignorance. People have no clue about fasting. They're putting their opinions on what you're doing. They have no clue. And people felt better than they've ever felt in their whole life. And they're getting police called on. They're absolutely ridiculous. But this is how this stuff happens, and it has happened, and it will continue to happen out there because of the ignorance of the fasting lifestyle. They'll trust in, people will trust in the white jackets, the pharma cartel, but they won't trust in God, their creator. It's bizarre, but this is the way the society we live in. It's absolutely bizarre. You don't trust in the creator that created you, but you trust in the white jackets. That's the last place, last people I would trust. Look what they've done in the last 3 years. Absolutely diabolical. They've revealed how evil the whole thing is. And I used to say from the beginning, it's got its evil tentacles right from the start. The whole medical mafia, pharma cartel, whatever you want to call it. We're in interesting times, folks. Take hold, take brace. Embrace the lifestyle, embrace the emotions that come to the surface, embrace them. Thank you. Jump for joy when you have healing reactions. Jump for joy when you have all these emotions coming. You may be going cuckoo for a bit, but you have to pull from within and understand that you're in the hands of the divine operating table, nature's operating table, universal operating table that works perfectly, because that's how we're designed. I'm trying to come out of the brainwashing from natural health industry too. Oh, geez, yeah. We've all been there. And that one there is a tough one for people to break. Still people pushing alkalinity and all that stuff. Go alkaline, go alkaline. No, go for balance. Let the body worry about the little chemistry that it uses. Right? Yeah, it's very tough. As we say, I can get a pail of what do you call it? Battery acid. You can put your hand in there. It's going to eat it right to the bone, right? And then you can put all fruit juices, which are acid, and it's not going to eat your hand to the bone. You're going to see a cleansing and healing, and it's acid. And then you can get, what's on the high alkaline side? Baking soda, and you can go in and you can have a nice bath, and it's healing, because it helps neutralize things and so on and so forth. Or then you can put a bath of lye, and you go in, it's going to eat you right down to the bone. There'll be nothing left. And so this is chemistry. There's good acids and good bases on everything. There's both sides, and you can't paint the brush with everything. How people are saying that fruit is is alkaline ash, because first of all, I don't know why they say that, but it changes when it goes into the body, because the body's doing the work with that acid, and it's doing the work whatever it has to do. It's not that the fruit is alkaline. The body's doing the work to change it, and they're only looking at a small viewing window, as we said, right? So yeah. Which is why I was confused with the acid and alkaline. Yeah, you're going to get confused with this chemistry stuff. It only sent me into a spiral of confusion going down that route, and is why I just keep saying to people, ignore that stuff. Go for balance, balance. And we don't create the balance; the body creates the balance. We just put the body in a state where it can create and move in the direction of balance, which is a fasting state. There's nothing you can add or subtract. Sorry, there's nothing you can add, but you can only subtract to move in that direction. That's why we call it the art of subtraction. The art of subtraction is the key to moving in the direction of balance, because we're having the trust in our creator. And he does the work through our soul, and we see the magic happens. Elizabeth, it's been a while. Hi, Gene. I forgot how much wisdom you share. I have learned so much from you. Nice to be here. Nice to see you again. Wow, it's been a while. So yeah, lots of people have learned a lot from the MFS realm, and I've learned a lot from the MFS realm. We've all learned a lot. It's the information. I got a lot of this information came through me, but we've all learned together. Especially through the first few years, man, it was just we had a ball with all the crazy things that were happening, magical, wonderful, beautiful things. It's I was just going through some of the old testimonials and just like, whoa, my goodness gracious, the stuff that people have healed. It's just beautiful to go through all that stuff. And nothing has changed. The information is the same because it works. There's nothing to change. It's just this has to change. Our belief system has to change if we want to move in the direction of balance. Our lifestyle has to change if we want to move in the direction of balance. We have all the tools. There's nothing here that we need to improve dramatically. We can tweak things here and there, which we've done over the years, a little bit here, but there's not a lot of things that we need to change. So what we're doing works. And do we want to work it is the question. Do we want to work it? But back to the acid alkaline stuff, I highly recommend we let go, like our blood system, which is the sewer system. Everybody says it's the feeding system, the kitchen, and we say it's the opposite. Why do we say that? Because that's what plasma science has taught us. It's not mainstream science, plasma science. And when I heard that, I said, this makes way more sense. Just like everything else they've taught us, it's lies. So the blood system, just think about it logically, the blood system's always flowing. If a sewer was stagnant, you know the stench it would have? So our blood system is full of oxygenated blood continuously flowing, so we wouldn't have that stench, and it can take care of all the contamination. It's the sewer system, and it's attached to the mankind's emotion, right? It's always flowing, has to flow, and it shows you how important it is. It has to continuously flow. When it stops flowing, we die. That's how important the sewer system is, that it has to continuously flow. And then we have the lymph system, which is your energetic system, which is connected to the breath, the physicality, the breath and the physicality. And that lymph doesn't have a pump. So when we're down in energy, it's because the lymph system's not moving. It's all plugged up. The lymph should be in a consistency of water, so it can flow easily by just small little movements or breath work, and it should just flow. But we in modern man, no, we have to have, movement, major movement, or rebounding or whatever, to get lymph to flow, because it's so thick. That's why you get pimples and lymph nodes blowing up and everything, because it's not the consistency of water. It's too thick. That's our energy system. And that's why we don't have energy. The blood's always flowing. Why don't we have energy? If that was your energy system, we should have energy all the time. Think about this logically in common sense. So to me, it makes common sense and logic. So the blood is the sewer system, and it's slightly alkaline. 7.36 and 4 or 5, I can't remember exact number. It has to maintain that pH consistently. If it moves too much either way, we get in trouble, right? I don't know the pH of the lymph. I'd have to look that up. I don't remember. But it's all this stuff is not important, is what I'm trying to say. Why do we need to fill our heads with all this caca? All this science stuff that's not going to help us. All we need to know is what state do we need to get our body in to move in the direction of balance, and how do we support that state? Master Fast System is how you do it. It's got all the tools. We got the herbs, we got the colon washing, we got the breath work, we got the herbs I mentioned, the tinctures and tea, the kidney tea, the tinctures, so we call that TNT. We have the plasma pudding, very important part of it, to absorb as it's going through. It's not pulling as much as what it's absorbing, the things that the fast has loosened up, because the fasting is where everything happens. The dry fasting specifically is where everything happens. So the body's doing the work, and the things we're using assist in us helping pull things and purge things out. But the fast is where the body's actually doing all the work. from source through the soul in a fasting state. In the eating state, as we know, not much happens. Not much happens. You know, if you drastically change from a sad diet to a vegan, raw vegan diet, you're going to see a lot of things happen until you plateau. Master fast system, we've seen no plateaus. It just keeps stripping and stripping and stripping. And then you're going to get to a point where it's going to continually strip the things that are in our environments that we're continuously ingesting that we have no control over, and emotions and so on and so forth. So there's always something to strip. Is why we say there's no plateau. There's no such thing as plateaus. If there's ever a plateau, it's when you're going to be, when we die, when we jump out of the physical body and move on. But there's no plateau in this realm. No plateau, folks. It just keeps stripping away the layers of onions until we get to the center of nothingness. And like I said, then we're continuously absorbing the environments of people's energies and chemicals and chemtrails and everything else they do, and whatever else they do, and it's endless cycles of being bombarded. You know, these things, the radiations, microwaves, and all these things are handled with what? A dry fasting state. Fly members say fly dry when you're traveling. You won't have jet lag. You'll be able to reset your clock when there's big time differences when you're flying from one country to another. How come this thing works so easily and beautifully? Well, I can only talk from experience, and there's no comparison flying dry and flying when you're eating and drinking. No comparison at all. And it's much, much better doing when we're in sync with universal and natural laws than fighting against them, right? Cause and effect. We can't escape the laws of cause and effect. No matter how much money you have, you can't escape those laws. Yeah. Some people believe because they can buy their way out of anything, but you're not going to escape laws of cause and effect. So, back to the acid alkaline. If that doesn't make sense to you, what I explained about the blood being the sewer and the lymph being the energetic system, it's okay. You can still believe in the old belief system that we've been taught, because that's what 99.999% of people are teaching out there is go alkaline, and the blood is your kitchen and the lymph is the sewer. So either way, whatever belief system you have, if you're following Master Fast system, your body's going to heal, even though your belief system may not be correct, right? Because it's designed perfectly, and it's going to do the things it needs to do when you're in that state automatically. As we say, put the soul in autopilot, and it does the work for us. Isn't that amazing? So we don't even have to have the belief system, and it's going to work. I love it. I just love it. Yeah. So acid alkaline. Go look at pH charts of fruit and vegetables. You will see that all fruit is acidic, very, very strong acids in the 3s, 4s. Some of them are even lower. Even fruit juices, which are from the fruit, they're acidic. Like the grape juice is like 3.5, I can't remember. So it's very strong acid. Then you have your vinegars, which are stronger. You have some of the greens. I don't know if anything was on the plus side. Everything was on the acid side, but closer to alkaline. All the greens juiced, they're in like the 6.5 pH. These are like green juices, like the wheatgrass and stuff, but they're still acidic. They're still acidic. And everybody's saying, alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. So I don't know how people came up with this stuff. I don't know. It's because the blood is 7.365 pH. I don't know. How do they come up with this stuff? The body's going to do what it needs to do with whatever we put in it. And like we've explained in the Master Fast realm, the highest form of healing, if you're looking through a small, tiny window of chemistry, is acidic experience, not an alkaline experience. Because if you drink lye, you're done. The story about Dr. Christopher, the great herbalist of our time, shared a story about I think it was a young lad who drank lye by mistake and burnt his whole esophagus. And this was years ago, where they didn't have the technology of surgeries to fix it. And they says, well, he can't eat, he's going to die. And the mother refused to give up, so she used to massage him from head to toe with olive oil every day, and that's what kept him alive. And he grew up to be a normal adult. This is what Mother Dr. Christopher said. Perfectly normal. He grew up. That was his food. Just rubbing olive oil, and he was getting the fields of the olive oil. Right? Isn't that incredible? Hearing stories like that. We don't have to believe it. It doesn't matter. Right? People don't have to believe that bones can straighten out and nerves can regenerate. It doesn't matter what they've happened. People, we've seen that firsthand witnesses. So it doesn't matter what our belief system is, right or wrong, whatever. We know without doubt that pretty much everything is possible as far as healing is concerned. Everything is possible. Just imagine that we assist it with a belief system and put our faith into it. Wow. Then we're going to see even better things happen. Just like Dr. Emoto, glasses of water. I hate you, I love you. And completely different crystallizations. All disorganized in the hate and I love would form a beautiful crystal. I don't have those anymore. I used to have those photographs. Just beautiful crystals, just with the volition and emotion of no physicality, right? It's just energy. And people have done the rice test where they pick 3 jars of cooked rice. One they ignore, one they say I hate you, one they say I love you, and after 30 days, go look at what you have. You can go on YouTube and see how many people have done it, and you'll see the outcome. Energy, everything's energy. And in the Mass Fast realm, we're focusing on the plasma love always flowing energy, which is from our divine creator. And that's all we need to focus on, that energy, because nothing else matters. That's all that matters. And that's all that's doing all the work, and that's all that is the only reason we're here. So why focus on anything else? That's nonsense. That's created by white jackets, wacko white jackets that are just completely mind controlled. There's, like I've said, there's a purpose for some of this stuff, because we've gone so far away from being able to do it all botanically, naturally. Breaking legs and stuff was taken care of before. The Chinese, through acupuncture and stuff, they used to do surgeries and stuff. And you're able to do surgeries and not have any pain with acupuncture if you know what you're doing, and so on. So anyway, we have a system where the medical cartel is basically only good for emergency situations. You're in a car accident, break a leg, whatever. You can use them for that. But these days they want to put pins and metal into everything, which is not good. And then you got to remove it, another trauma, and all the anesthetic stuff you have to take. Stuff is horrific to fast that stuff out of you, man. You don't fast it out, it'll stay in you for years. Years. It probably never will come out properly if you don't fast it out, just like any other drug. You need to fast it out. There's no other way. So We've got about an hour if anybody's got any last questions, and then we'll round it up. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast. It's great to have some interaction, and stay focused. You know, get your relationship all sorted out with your creator, with our creator, and make it a spiritual journey, because that's what it's all about. This life is temporary. The next life is for, you know, eternity, as we say it, for infinity. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much. Let's continue sending the plasma love, always flowing. And it'll be wonderful. Francesca, I know you're not a fan of liver and gallbladder flush. Can you explain why this is? Yeah, absolutely. Oils, fats and oils, they're absolutely the highest level of obstructiveness. You do that during a master fast, you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay heavily. Just a woman just posted recently, she's on level 7, and she's just purged tons of stones. It's a recent post. Why do you want to put that your system through that shock, through that trauma? I've done many liver and gallbladder flushes in the past, because that's all we knew back then. But in the realm of MFS, you do not need to do this, because the body's going to flush all that stuff out. The body will flush all obstructions that the body cannot use or need. So oils, yeah. If there's somebody who has severe, you know, they're in an eating lifestyle and they're in a severe, you know, gallbladder attack or whatever, yeah, you could do a flush. You know, the way I would do it is not during the mass. I wouldn't do it in mass fast realm, eating realm. Doing an ounce of olive oil, an ounce of lemon juice every night, empty stomach, before you go to bed. Do that for 1 month, and then do a mini flush, and you'll take care of the problem. It's taking care of many people's problems. Doing it that way, it's much more gently. It helps loosen things up slowly. But you got to remember, cause and effect. We're doing all that oil. We have to purge it out. We have to, when we fast, because it is obstructive. You know, just try washing oil off your hands. How hard it is to get it off your hands. What do you think it's doing inside the body? Fats, same thing, but oils are much more concentrated. So that's why we don't need to do this. We have the master fast system lifestyle, where it takes care of everything, because we're moving in the direction of balance as a whole, in the physical, mental, emotional. So that's the short end of the answer, Francesca. I would not be doing it. I would not. You're welcome. Moving in the direction of balance is the only thing we want to focus on. When you're, whatever you're doing, you have to ask yourself, am I moving in the direction of balance? If you have to think about it, that means you're not doing that. You're not doing it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're following mass fast protocol, you're living a fasted lifestyle, you're moving in the direction of balance. You don't have to think about it. So are you doing all the things that are going to keep you in this direction? If you're doing everything in the mass fast realm, you're moving in the direction of balance. Well, how do we know that? Because we've experienced it ourselves, and we've seen it many times, right? So, you know, we don't have all the answers, but it works. It works, and it works very powerfully. I haven't seen anything strip like the mass fast system. Nothing. So watch videos, start watching more videos, and you can learn and start doing some searches in the Facebook group and stuff. You see some pretty interesting stuff that we've all seen. Forget paying attention to about the negative stuff from people, because it's just ignorance. It's just ignorance. They just don't know. You know, fasting is a beautiful lifestyle. So live it, love it. We'll see you back on the page. See you Wednesday, Facebook Live, 3:06 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And send PLAF to everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Send them PLAF. Even if they don't understand what we're doing, send them PLAF and just walk away. Stop discussing stuff with them. All righty. Ciao.